Hi guys, this is my reaction and recap of Little People, Big World Season 25, Episode 5, called Let's See the Ring. In this episode, Zach refuses to talk about his dad's engagement to Caryn, and Amy faces Caryn's new huge engagement ring head on, while Chris stirs the pot as usual and continues to transform more and more into Matt Roloff somehow. The episode starts, and we learn that basically everyone in Zach's family has their birthday between April 30th and May 12th. Zach, Tori, Jackson, and Josiah, so it's super busy for them. They're planning Josiah's first birthday for close friends and family only. It's actually not going to be filmed. And Tori and Lila are shopping for toys for basically Josiah. And Tori is exhausted just thinking about the birthday parties she needs to plan. Not sure why, but Tori and Zach have not filmed at all with Matt or Amy in the last few episodes, and their storylines have been kind of boring, a snooze fest, shall we say. Amy and Chris are house hunting, inspired by Matt building a new house on Roloff Farms. It made them think, about their house and how it's not their dream house, which, by the way, their house is already super nice and big, so I don't understand this need to move to their dream home. And they go see this house that is like a Roloff Farms 2.0. It's huge, and I don't see why they need a big house like that for two people, almost at retirement age, honestly. The house is literally 10,000 square feet, twice the size of the big house, which is nuts. As they enter, there's like the longest driveway ever that would need to be maintained. And by the way, why is Chris Matt 2.0 now? I don't know. He wants his own projects. He is Matt's biggest fan. I'm seeing more of like that vibe going on. So Chris thinks they may do weddings there, and there's no way Amy wants to do that. So at this point, I feel like they're probably not going to move forward with this house. So why are we here? Amy looks stressed out just thinking about the work that this house will require. I mean, can you imagine just the cleaning? The driveway itself is like a mile or more long with this like super ceremonial entrance, but Chris has stars in his eyes. He's seeing the house as a way to start a new business and host weddings. Apparently, Amy says that Chris is an entrepreneur at heart. She's not saying no right away. She's not shutting it down, but she's holding her face, and we all know what she's thinking. And she's hoping Chris figures out on his own that it won't work. I mean, how did she marry Matt Roloff 2.0? Like, how are we here? So next, Matt and Caryn's house now has a roof. It's coming together very nicely. Caryn says it's more exciting now that they're engaged, and makes a bad joke about Matt carrying her over the threshold or scootering her over. Like, no one wants to see that, just saying. She says that she didn't know she needed a ring, but when he gave it to her, a puzzle piece fell into place that she did not know she needed. Okay, I think she always wanted this, personal opinion. She seems very excited about it all and wants to start planning, despite the family upheaval. She says people are asking where we're going to get married more than when. Is it Arizona? Is it the farm? Well, basically they ruled out the farm, which is probably the scene of the crime where the suspected affair started, let's be real. And honestly, they probably just should elope because there's so many mixed feelings about their wedding. I just can't imagine Jeremy or Zach being happy about this. They're still doing the fundraiser for the DAAA with Chris and Amy, and Matt says that he wants to make sure all the proceeds go to them, and that the fact that he's planning this with Amy is like a setup for a sitcom. Yes, definitely a storyline made for drama. And why would he question where the proceeds are going? Like, why are we getting into the weeds of appropriating funds or where the funds are going? Meanwhile, Tori and Zach are in their backyard with the kids on motorized Jeeps, And immediately, I'm stressed at this whole scene. They're going over bridges with no sides. Stressful. No helmets. I mean, so many safety issues in my opinion. Zach says that the kids don't miss the farm. They have a great backyard behind their house. I would argue that if you ask Jackson directly if he misses the farm, he would say yes. Jackson had a very good bond with Matt, and their backyard's just not the same. It's not the same. I understand the anger about this. I'm not in the family. There's probably stuff behind the scenes that I'm just not aware of that's maybe fueling this further, but I want to see Zach go back to the farm with his kids. Maybe Caryn doesn't need to be there, but Zach says obviously we want grandpa in their lives. He says that the grandparents are always invited. Then a producer straight up asks the obvious question, how did you react when Caryn and your dad got engaged? He says he didn't reply and doesn't want to talk about it, so fair to say Zach is mostly not a fan of Caryn. He categorically says he won't talk about it. He won't play ball for the episode. And I'm seeing flags about, why they may not have been asked back to the show. They seem to have pretty strong boundaries and they're not, playing ball with these storylines that much, which they're totally in their own right to do. They also didn't have cameras at Josiah's first birthday, but we know that Matt was there, Amy and Chris, but no Caryn, which is another hint at Zach's feelings about Caryn. I'm not saying that Zach's feelings about Caryn, I just feel like that shouldn't dictate that he doesn't go to the farm. That's his home. He grew up there. And then they take pictures of Josiah smashing his cake with a cowboy hat on, and it's super cute. This is a whole thing. The whole cake smashing thing is always fun. Chris and Amy are now hosting Caryn and Matt to talk about the fundraiser, which gives them an excuse to get together. And it's the first time they see each other since Caryn and Matt's engagement. And honestly, Chris is just in the corner stirring the pot so hard again. He's like, when you see her ring, you're going to see it's twice the size of yours. Don't put yours next to it. Like, relax, Chris. Honestly, why are you making this so uncomfortable? Amy's like, Chris makes it sound like Caryn's ring covers her whole finger. And as soon as they sit down, Amy says, okay, let's see the ring. Like, let's get this over with. And Caryn looks almost scared to put her finger out. And then Amy's holding on to that finger for a while, just wiggling, looking around. It's uncomfortably long, but then she's like, wow, very pretty. Chris talks to Matt about the huge house they went to see and that he wants to have a wedding business. And even Matt just says the scope of work just will be too much for them. Even Matt Roloff is on Amy's side, which is a full circle moment. Next, let's talk about the fundraiser and how Amy needs to fine-tune the invite wording. They argue about how Amy can accept the income in a clean way where all the proceeds can go to the organization. And Caryn and Matt don't even agree. Should it be a check? Should it be Amy getting the income and writing a check? I think they're kind of inferring it for tax purposes or something, but Caryn says in these situations, she just agrees with Amy, which is probably the right thing to do. Matt then is like, well, we're not going to stay long because we woke up at 6 this morning. And Amy claps back and says, we all did. There's no violin here. Classic Amy and Matt passive-aggressive showdown. Then Matt and Caryn talk about their engagement and reactions to it on Roloff Farm, sitting on a bench looking at their house. They say, well, everyone's allowed their own feelings. And then Matt just says he hasn't heard from all his kids. He almost said, we raised them, but now we have our own life. So Matt thinks that Zach and Tori made a pact to not come to the farm, and Matt has to go all the way up there now to see them, which he doesn't seem too happy about. I'm hoping that Zach and Tori do end up going to Roloff Farms again soon somehow, and just, Zach grew up there. It's such an important, I just feel like he has full right to go there, and if he doesn't like Caryn, then maybe Caryn leaves for a few hours or whatever. And no, their backyard is not the same thing as his childhood home. What do you guys think? And how are you liking this season? Okay, so my recaps of Little People Big World are not getting that many views, to be honest, but I just continue doing them because this is a big season. I don't know what's going to happen next season, and I've just been watching the show so much. No one does recaps, so let me know if you like these and if I should continue doing them. Bye, guys!